Hello, beautiful people. I know I've been a little MIA. I've been super busy. So I thought I'd just kind of get on and, I don't know, answer any questions for anybody. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Don't really have a lot to talk about tonight. I've been a little in my head lately. I personally feel like I may be having what is the word I want to use? I don't know, I can't think of it, but I do feel like I'm going a little bit backwards. But I don't think that I am at the same time. I think that's just, I miss my sister a lot. Your mind really can play tricks on you. You know, you think you're doing absolutely wonderful one moment, and the next moment it's like everything just kind of seems all over the place, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying for myself personally to keep things in order, keep going strong how I've been doing. I am a part of a suicide-specific group, and a part of that group, we usually meet every Wednesday, and just recently, something I learned that I did not know, is that actually a lot of people don't realize suicides. They say they're most likely to happen on Mondays. And at first I kind of wonder why, like, not that there's anything too special about Mondays, but I actually found out that the reason a lot of people decide to take their lives on Mondays is because when you really think about it, it's the start of a new week. It's the start of new problems. It's back to reality, especially if you work a Monday through Friday, or you go to school Monday through Friday, or whatever the case may be. It's the start to another dreadful week, especially if you suffer from mental health. It's a matter of getting through each and every day, let alone a whole week. Thank you. I'm doing my best to stay strong. Quite frankly, my family, sorry, what's here on me? My family probably actually says I'm one of probably the strongest out of all of them. I don't know how true that is, but I just do my best. Like everyone always kind of asks me, how am I doing? Taking every moment as they come. That's all you can really do. You can't do too much more than that. Oh, you're supposed to be sleeping. You want to say hi? Say hi, Facebook. You gotta go to bed. You have school in the morning. And then just being strong for my babies, because I do have 2 boys, for those who don't know. And just making sure I stay on the swivel. That's all I can really do right now, personally. And that's all anyone can really do. Baby, you gotta go lay down. I love you.
You don't come?
Yeah, I'll come eventually.
Almost done?
Something I also... Not yet, baby. Almost.
No?
Yeah.
Just one more?
Maybe one more. Love you. One thing I definitely... I have my computer pulled up behind me here. Just not really wanting to use my finger. Sorry. Thank you so much, Kindlin. That's so sweet of you. But something I wanted to touch base, a lot of people think that those who leave us by suicide there's a broad range of reasons why, it's not, just like the anxiety disorders. It ranges from things like bipolar to personality disorders to post-traumatic, to all kinds of things. It can be, someone who you don't even think anything's going wrong in their life, but that's usually the ones that is. They usually say the funniest ones or the happiest ones. They usually have the biggest problems and wear the biggest smile, and you never know that they were going through anything. I don't know. I'm just kind of blah, blah, blah talking. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging this week. I'll probably get on and do another video later on this week, just kind of to touch base. But I definitely want to keep getting on here, even if I really don't have much to say. Just talk about my feelings, and again, answer any questions. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me that they may want to answer. If it's not too personal, or just like certain specific details, I'm sure I wouldn't mind sharing. But yes, the table's open if anyone has any questions, or if anyone would like to share anything. I'm definitely open to that. For those who are just joining on, my name is Jaleesa. I kind of have been getting on and doing these videos, focusing on mental health awareness, suicide awareness. My younger sister, Selena, she did pass away on October 26, 2020. She did unfortunately leave us by suicide. And that's just really one of the main reasons I'm getting out here and doing these videos, just to bring awareness to everybody else in this world. Of course, we know it's something that's present, but not a lot of people realize how present it is. A lot of people don't even realize they suffer from, any sort of mental health disorders themselves. So if you can't even recognize it in your own self, how can you recognize it in someone else? So, like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm kind of getting on here to tell my story, and to, tell other people's stories if they want me to tell their stories, to answer questions, bring information to the platform so everybody can kind of understand, so that way we can help prevent this, or to help keep the other strong, because I don't want anyone else, anyone period, but I definitely wouldn't want anyone close to me to have to experience this feeling, because even though I suffer from mental health myself, and as I mentioned before, I have an understanding of like where my sister's mental state was at when she did go through with this act, it's still hard. I still even have questions myself, so I can only imagine those who have no information at all. Okay, I have a question from Kindlin. How are you staying so strong? Since my little brother got hit on his motorcycle and passed on New Year's Eve, I've literally been so depressed and lost. Well, for me personally, Kindlin, I know, and Selena, she was very bright. She was very outgoing, and happy and loving and caring, and she really was just about family. So for me personally, besides me also dealing with the mental health and knowing where she was at and knowing that she was in so much pain, how do I want to put it? I don't know, just knowing that she's at peace ultimately, and just knowing that she dealt with so much in her past, and just knowing that where she's at now, and then knowing that she was that happy, outgoing person and just was about family and love and happiness. For some reason, I just, everyone says they're always with you when they pass away. I really let go and try to feel that, I feel like the more you fight it, the more you look for it, you're not really ready. I feel like once you kind of come to that peace and understanding, and know that they truly are at a better place. And I don't know if your brother was suffering in any type of way prior to getting hit by the motorcycle, because it is a little bit different, but we all go through struggles. Just knowing that they're not in pain, knowing that they are at peace, and knowing that they are always with me. Because that's one thing I will tell you, Kindlin, whether you feel it or not, or whether you want to believe it or not, they are always with you. And that's something that's truly helped me keep going through my days, is, when I'm having a moment, just feeling like she's with me, and just wanting and knowing that she wouldn't want me down on this earth, all sad and gloomy, because that's not who we were. And when she was around me, she brought light to my life, and she always made me happy, even if she pissed me off, because she could be really annoying. She definitely, we were always happy around each other. Whatever it was, turning up, back then, smoking, whatever the case may be, I know that she wouldn't want me down and out, and I know she's at a better place. So that's kind of how I've personally helped being strong. You just kind of have to figure out what your coping mechanisms are, like what helps you get through the day. For me also, what helped me is figuring out what triggered my breakdowns. Like, what happened in my day prior to me breaking down? Did I get in an argument, with someone? Did I just have a really crappy day, was super busy? What exactly, what happens right before I miss her so much? What happens right before I have a breakdown? What happens before I feel like I can't take it anymore? And then once I was able to kind of pinpoint those triggers, and you're able to control those triggers. And once you're able to control those triggers, and how, whether it's from another person in your life or something in your life, you're able to eliminate that trigger from your life, that negativity from your life, to allow you to let that positivity into your life. That if he... Yeah, I mean, who knows? You never really know. They say they say to definitely pay attention to those signs, and one of those signs is mention of dying or wanting to die. Not saying that he wanted to die, but just that statement alone, that if he did die on his motorcycle, it's God's will, and that's what he wants. Given that, I know he's saying if he had an accident, if that happened, it's gonna happen. I like motorcycles. I don't want to be in car. I feel free. I completely understand that. But who knows? I mean, I don't know your brother's personal life. I don't know what he was going through personally. And, there raised a question with that comment, was it truly an accident, or what the case may be. But honestly, you don't want to let yourself ask 50 million questions, and you don't want to ask the what ifs, or I should have this, or I should have that. Because when you do all of those things, it really, it's gonna put you in a downward spiral. And I'm glad that, when everything happened with my sister, the officers and everything, they told me automatically off rip, don't do that to yourself, because you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Because at the end of the day, shoulda, coulda, woulda is not gonna change the fact that you can't do it anymore. That person unfortunately is gone. They are with you, constantly, but you gotta kind of get to that place of peace and understanding. And that's why they say a lot of the times with mental health and suicide too, it's really difficult, because a lot of people, they don't have that understanding. There's a lot of questions asking why. And then even with sudden deaths, like with your brother getting hit with their motorcycle, you probably had so many questions still you wanted to ask him that you didn't even know that you had to ask. So it is a little hard, it is a little trying, because you want to still talk to that person, you want to see that person, you want to hear their voice, you want to know if they were okay. It's a lot of, wanting to know and not being able to know, or wanting to see that, that's where the main struggle comes in, is you want, and you know, it's like in a situation kind of like if you're with someone, you have someone so great and you don't want them until you lose them. And unfortunately in this situation it's kind of the same. You know, we don't really praise and love and care and, you know, take advantage of the people that we love and care about and really spend time with them. We always kind of like, I know there's times that I've probably blown my sister off countless times, and I wish I hung out with her every last one of those times. I wish she was here. But girl, just exactly, you know, clarity, just being able to know and understand is the biggest thing that, you know, can help anybody who's grieving a loved one. Because it's just, when you don't have clarity, when you don't have the answer to those questions, you constantly are going to sit there and ask over and over and over again those same questions until you have an answer. But it's a little redundant because you're never going to get an answer, and even if you do, it's not from the person that you want the answer from, so you really don't know if it's accurate or not. So it's just like, there's no right answer. There really is no right answer. You know, my goal is to give advice to help others get through their situations, but there's no right answer. And something someone told me, and it will stick with me always, is just, you know, nobody could tell you how to grieve. You know, nobody can tell you how to grieve. They don't know what you're going through mentally. You know, just like I said, you could be happy-go-lucky one moment, and the next minute you're in freaking tears, just not understanding why things are the way they are. I'm not going to say I hate my new normal, because I don't. I mean, it's still life. I still got to keep living. I still have 2 handsome boys to love. But I miss my sister. I miss my baby girl so much. I really do. You know, I'm sitting at my dining room table, and I just think about the times when we used to sit here with my boys, and I used to cook dinner, and just all the memories that we have. Like, and girl, I know you're going probably through it 10 times worse with all them pregnancy hormones, because I can only imagine. It's definitely a battle. A battle that nobody could tell you how to fight, because they don't know what you're going through. And even when you talk about it, you know, you can talk about it and express your feelings, but ultimately nobody will still ever understand what you're going through personally. Because at the same time, and this is why I say, you know, don't ever let anyone tell you how to grieve, because it's just like, for instance, with my sister, I had a certain relationship with her. She was my rider. She was my best friend. You know, she was my go-to. You know, I'm ready to go fight somebody. That's who the fuck I call. She gonna be right there with me. Oh, you want me to come? You gonna come get me, or do I need to drive my car? Like that. You know, that was my best friend. No, you know, from smoking to drinking to whatever it was. You know. And then she was my child too. So when I didn't want her to do this, that, and the other, I'ma yell at her, even though I probably was doing the same thing with her the other day. But then you have my dad, where, you know, that's his baby girl, you know, even though I'm the first one. But, you know, that's just his daughter. You know, his job is to protect her at all times. And then you have my mom, you know, she wanted, that was mama's girl. I was such a daddy's girl that was mama's girl. It didn't matter what she said. So you know, no one can tell you how to grieve, because everyone has a different relationship with the person that they lost, and some stronger than others, or whatever the case may be. But you're all gonna go through things, and there's always gonna be a moment that kind of triggers. Like, I came across a shirt that she let me use the weekend before to go out with my roommate, and I'm just like, I looked at it and I was just like, oh. And I was happy because I came across the show. I remember when this, and this, but then at the same time, it's kind of bittersweet, because it's just like, oh, I remember when this. So it's like, it's gonna be a back and forth battle, unfortunately, and you may go through it for the rest of your life, and that's just something that I've learned to understand, and something that I've come to conclusion with. You know, the more you're able to just come to the circumstances and understand that it is what it is, the easier I feel like it will get. because it's when you're sitting there asking those 50 million questions, wondering that you drive yourself fucking nuts. So much worse because I'm always alone. I hear you, girl. Being alone is definitely not the smartest thing for you to be doing right now. But I know I'll be honest, I can't be home alone yet. I mean, I have been, but it's definitely the one thing I haven't been able to do yet. My home was my safe space, especially when my sister came over. I was going through some things before she did pass, and even if I wasn't going through things, she was still, like I said, my rider. And I just remember some moments, like when I was down and out and crying, and she would just hold me, or just like I said, when I would cook family dinners, and me and the boys and her would sit at the table, or just binge watch movies. So home is definitely a hard one for me, because where I do love being home, because I'm such a homebody person, and like I said, it's my safe space. At the same time, I don't want to be here, especially if I'm alone. Obviously, I'm fine now. I've got my kids and everybody. But it's definitely a struggle. I'm definitely having a hard time, but I'm trying to turn it around and do the best with it. Her birthday's coming up, and like I mentioned on my last video too, her birthday's coming up, so I feel like that may be why I have been having a hard time, but I'm trying to turn it around, maybe plan a trip, so hopefully that works out. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has any questions or anything they would like to share. Definitely open to it. I was definitely loving the interaction today. I know it's kind of late, so I probably don't have many people on here. But let's see. Maybe that's why it's not working, because I have my phone leaning against it. But there was something else that I seen online that I wanted to share with you guys. If I can't find it pretty quick here, I'll just have to share it on my next one. I think we will get through this, baby steps, a day at a time. Honestly, I love you, and I love you too, and no problem. This is what I'm doing this for. And we will get through this. And, like I was told too in the beginning, it may not even be a day at a time. That's why I say, whenever anyone asks me how I'm doing, I'm just taking it every moment at a time, as they come. You may have to start crawling before you can start walking again in a situation like this, and I know that, and I've learned that. So once you learn those things too, you are able to take the proper steps to a proper recovery, I feel. But you get through it. You do. It'll always, like I said, it'll always be with you, but you learn, you find ways to cope, you find ways to get through it, you find ways to be at peace. Like in my group, like they mentioned, it's what did he say? It's not like we're trying to get over it. We're not trying to get over it or get over that person, because you'll never get over them. You're always going to love them. You're always going to care about them. You're always going to miss them. The only thing that you're trying to do in a grieving situation is you're trying to move forward. You're trying to find ways to deal with it. I haven't started individual counseling. I just kind of do a group meeting every Wednesday, which definitely is helping me. And then for like my group, like I mentioned before, it is a suicide specific group. Definitely, I feel it's been beneficial, because it's something, every person in the group has lost somebody by suicide. So being able to relate to somebody as well, and be able to get answers and a different outlook or a different perspective from somebody else, definitely I feel helps in these situations. Like I said, clarity, or just understanding and knowing why certain things happened, and having information can only benefit and help us all in the future when it comes to mental health and suicide awareness. I do have to get back to some work. but I did want to hop on and speak to you guys and kind of recap on some things. Thank you for interacting with me, Kindlin. I appreciate that. I enjoyed answering your questions. Hopefully some of the things I've said can help you. Definitely feel free to message me. Again, these are what these videos are for, to help and be there for others and, you know, be informative. We gotta fix this, y'all. Until next time.